half Japanese.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Paul Curry of Leo Weekly.
of something.
Of Neil Hamburger interview fame.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that go, by the way?
There's enough to use, I think. You know, it's not 2,500 words yet, but
roughly 58 minutes worth of speaking.
58 minutes of meandering, awful approximation of comedy.
By you or him?
I'm getting a sense of what he's after.
Outstanding.
You know? Yeah, he had some. He's really good with the very sly insult, and I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to approximate that exactly. But he says like the fiction of the character breaks down when you start grilling.
Right.
Because he starts telling stories from both sides of an approach. You know?
Right.
It's like being a comedian is a terrible thing. He did, you know, he does have a good explanation for how he got into comedy. He says when he was a teenager, he failed as a French fry cook, and so he went to a career counselor, and they said, well, what's one step lower than French fry cook?
Comedian.
You should try stand-up comedy. You know, like, and then of course he found an agent before he had any material, and because the contract that he signed was so egregious, he'll have to work for another 30 years to pay off all of his debts to his management.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, and it happens all the time.
I mean, that's the American dream, more or less.
Yeah. So he's basically in debt, 7 figures.
Wow.
You know, because supposedly that's the character.
Sure.
So he's paying, all his money goes to the old management company, and meanwhile he says, you know, all these shows, they're terrible. He says the schedule, he has to drive 700 miles for every single show. It's not like he's Carrot Top who plays every show in the same club.
Wow.
He's been in the same club for years and years. He doesn't have to go anywhere. You know, Neil has to drive 700 miles between every show.
Wow.
And that's not exactly true because he actually has a drag city management team. You know, so the truth of the matter. But he also explains that he's like a plumber of comedy. You know, it's like when you have clogged pipes, you call a plumber, and when you're miserable and you need a laugh, you call America's funny man Neil Hamburger. So you know, he is the plumber of comedy, and so the sly insult that he has for his audience is that they're so miserable that they have to come to me for a lift.
And that's low.
Yeah, and that's pretty damn low.